When looking at solutions for climate change, people generally think of things like recycling instead of putting everything in the trash, using electric cars instead of ones with internal combustion engines, or maybe using solar or wind energy to power your home, or even just turning off the lights when you leave a room. These are all great options for keeping the Earth's climate safe for all plants and animals, but one solution is often overlooked, and that is health and education, especially for women and girls. Getting all girls a proper education around the world can lead to the reduction of an estimated 85.42 gigatons of carbon equivalent in the Earth's atmosphere by 2050. For so long, girls have been far less likely to get a good education than boys. This means hundreds of millions of girls around the world don't get to reach their full potential. This problem needs to change, but first we have to learn the facts. Around the world, there are 132 million girls who don't attend school, 34.3 million of whom are primary school age, 5 to 10 years old, 30 million who are lower secondary school age, 11 to 15 years old, and 67.4 million who are upper secondary school age, 15 to 19 years old. Right now, there are only 66 nations that have established equal education opportunities for all genders. And even in those countries, many schools' curriculums don't support the success of women. There are many negative effects of this education gap, including consequences like child marriage and bad reproductive health. Today, there are 720 million women alive who were married before they were 18. 250 million of those were married before turning 15. Many of those are forced to have kids at a young age, which is likely to keep them from getting a full education. And in many countries, most girls are not taught about or can't afford birth control and can end up with unplanned pregnancies, which they can't afford to abort. However, a good education can help women with family planning, which can let them get a full education, including college and graduate school, letting them make money for themselves or a family. This is a self-sustaining system, and it starts with primary and secondary education. Another barrier to getting a good education in many countries is the distance people must travel. There is a lack of schools in rural areas in many countries, and in these areas many families don't own an automobile to transport their kids to school. This lack of schools in rural areas does not have an easy fix, but it can be helped if countries invest more of their gross domestic product in the public school system. Right now, more than 40% of countries spend less than 4% of their GDP on education, which is a very small percentage considering how beneficial education can be to their economy. Educating girls in poor areas will also help them start their own businesses, which can help keep money in the community rather than giving it to bigger brands. This can help a country make back its money spent on education. Countries need to invest their money in building schools in rural areas to end poverty. However, many countries could also use assistance from your donations to charities like UNICEF, the Afghan Institute of Learning, and CAMFED. Together, we can help girls in developing countries get better educations. Sadly, even with this increase in funds for education, some countries like Afghanistan and South Sudan have sexist infrastructures and powerful groups, which contribute to the belief that girls shouldn't get an education and should only find a husband and have kids. This can mean laws against girls going to school and taboos around things like menstruation. Women in these countries have taken matters into their own hands and have started many underground programs to educate girls. To help women and girls in Afghanistan get an education, you can donate to Sahar and the Malala Fund, two organizations working to provide an education for girls in Afghanistan. Another hurdle for many kids going to school is the trip there. Charities like UNICEF and Plan International donate bicycles to poor areas so that people can get to and from school quicker than if they were to walk there. This also helps girls avoid harassment on their trip to school in places where it is frowned upon. Plan International also helps get many households electricity. This helps girls who commonly have to help cook, clean, and fetch water for their families when they get home be able to do their homework later in the afternoon rather than having to do it early in the morning or by candlelight. In a number of places, another thing holding many girls back from going to school is dealing with their periods. In many places, households have to choose food over period products. This can mean that many kids of a certain age have to stay home from school during their periods each month because they don't have the products to deal with it and are made fun of because of it. Some simple solutions for schools to implement are providing menstrual products like sanitary pads at school, providing safe bathrooms for all students, and removing taboos around the subject so that families don't have to pay for menstrual products and girls won't get made fun of. With a budget increase, schools can also provide students with extra cafeteria food to take home so that their families don't have to be as food insecure. Every country has its shortcomings in education, but it is much tougher for girls to get an education in certain countries. When trying to fix the education gap, we first need to know what areas to target. The worst country for girls to get a fair education is South Sudan, where 3/4 of girls don't even get to go to primary school. The second worst is the Central African Republic, where there is one teacher for every 80 students and only 17% of women ages 15 to 24 are literate. The other 8 hardest countries are Niger, Afghanistan, Chad, Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso, Liberia, and Ethiopia. The problem with education in these and other countries is mostly caused by poverty, which can be eliminated with an increase in education. It creates a cycle that is sadly creating more poverty right now. But with your money and assistance in other ways, the cycle can become positive and help end poverty around the world. An increase in education can help the environment in so many ways, including a more controlled population size, more small businesses, less need for fast food because families are more financially stable, and a population that can spend more time becoming more eco-friendly. Women who are educated are more likely to move on to accomplish great things and make discoveries and inventions that can reverse the effects of climate change. One inventor you might not know about is Dr. Maria Telks, a Hungarian-American biophysicist who invented the solar heated home, an important invention in sustainable energy. Some other inventions by women include the flat-bottom paper bag, invented by Margaret Knight, a material often chosen over plastic bags, and the long cycle life nickel hydrogen battery, invented by Olga D. Gonzalez Sanabria, which is a long life energy storing battery that doesn't have toxic chemicals. These are just a few of the great inventions by women. When we invest more in the future of girls, the whole world will be rewarded greatly. We have to stop holding girls back from pursuing their dreams so that everyone can flourish in their own way. There are so many ways people are getting involved around the world in fixing this education gap. One way you can help is by donating to different organizations working to get more girls in education. Some of these include the Equalidad, an organization with a vision in which African women leaders participate in making key decisions by giving academic scholarships to underprivileged girls and giving grants to female entrepreneurs and innovators. The Afghan Institute of Education is an organization that builds a health and education system for women and girls in Afghanistan by opening learning centers and health clinics. Another charity to donate to is Develop Africa, an organization that provides school supplies, mosquito netting to prevent malaria, solar lights so kids can do homework at night, and computer and vocational training. You can donate to Develop Africa or sponsor a child to help them specifically. The Malala Fund, which was founded by Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai, advocates for the improvement of education for girls where it's needed most. It also has a newsletter where women around the world can submit their stories and essays. The Girl Effect is an organization working mainly in Ethiopia, Malawi, and Rwanda, whose goal is to motivate girls to go to school. They teach girls about reproductive health and use AI chatbots to communicate with as many girls as possible so that they will get a good education and grow up to do great things other than just having kids. The others mentioned were UNICEF, Sahar, and Plan International. You can seek more knowledge about this issue with a quick Google search so you can join all the people working to solve this inequity in education. Together we can fix this education gap and help girls around the world be able to reach their full potential. On the screen are the links to the 7 listed organizations and a few more if you are looking to donate.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. We're so happy that you joined us today for this session. And my name is Sylvester, and I'm the Executive Director of Develop Africa. And today I have with me a very special lady called Rhys, who I'll be talking about in a minute, and you'll get to meet Rhys. But before I do that, I'll just say a word or two about Develop Africa. So Develop Africa has been changing lives in Africa since 2006. We focus primarily on education, but even within education, we give appropriate attention to the education of girls. Girls clearly are disadvantaged in many aspects, in that in many cultures, boys receive priority in terms of access to education. So we have been working towards leveling the playing field, and the education of girls is something that is very dear to us. So today we have with us Rhys, who recently did a capstone project where she covered the education of girls. She mentioned the education of girls. So she sent a video to us, and this really caught our attention, and we thought it would be very interesting for us to get to know a little bit more about Rhys. So thank you, Rhys, for joining us here today, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure to be doing this.
All right, thank you. All right, well, we'd like to learn some more about you. If you could tell us your name, your middle name, what you like to do, a favorite game or hobby, just anything about you that you like to share with the people who are listening in.
Sure. I'm Rhys Ellis. I'm going into 9th grade this year. I enjoy doing different visual and performing arts, and I also like to cook. So yeah, that's...
Okay, wonderful. We're very happy to learn some more about you. And can we ask what you like to cook, or what's your favorite dish? What do you like to cook, or what's your favorite dish?
I like to do a lot of things. I'm working on getting doing my pizza recipe. So I made that last night, and it came out really good.
Well, I wish I was there. I love eating pizza too. So we're happy to hear about all your learning and how you're growing and developing. But we're also particularly interested in the capstone project that you recently did. Could you tell us some more about this project?
Sure. It was for our it was a project in 8th grade, and
okay.
we had to choose something in the world that we would like to change, and learn about it, and present it in kind of whatever way we wanted to. It was pretty open, so everyone did it differently. And yeah, it was a long process with different stages to it. And so I ended up choosing to focus on female education, because it seemed like an important issue to me, and I wanted to learn about it and share that information with other people. And I expressed it through a 10-minute whiteboard animation.
Okay, I have seen the whiteboard animation that you put together, and it's pretty impressive. I was just really curious, how long did it take for you to complete that?
The animation itself, along with doing the voiceover and the music for it, took about 5 weeks, but the whole process was from January to June.
Okay. Well, that sounds like you really put a lot of hours into it, and it looks just wonderful.
Thank
So,
you.
why did you decide to focus on this area? I mean, you could have done something on the environment or on art or some other topic. Why the education of girls?
Um, because I've done research before about uh, climate change and about things you can do to reverse the effects of it. Um, and it often comes up like talking about how much you can do to educate girls and how much of a issue that is that there's such a lack of that. So I think it just has great effects on people themselves. I mean, girls and really just everyone is helped by that, and also it helps the planet and keeping that good for the next generation.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a topic that's very dear to our hearts. And so it's wonderful to hear that promising young people like you are also getting interested in that area. And we commend you very highly for that. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us that you learned from this experience? What was it like for you was it surprising to learn about some of these statistics? What was it like for you as you were going through this whole process?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by certain things like statistics of how few girls get educated in certain countries, especially. And I mean, I learned about a lot of different things, and about I learned about organizations like Develop Africa that can give people a way to help with this. And I also learned about animation and time management and stuff. So it was a great learning experience.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely to just putting the video together, the whiteboard, just syncing all of that together must have been just a great learning experience, something that hopefully you'll be able to use in other ways in the future as well. Well, we're really curious about what you're thinking about in the future. I know it's too early to, of course, um, as far as deciding on a career, but you may already have some ideas of what you're thinking of doing in the future or what you like to study in college. Have you given any thought to that? What are your future plans?
Um, I right now I'm thinking about having a career in climate science or charity work with things like that because I think it'll just be very fulfilling um, and great to have a career that can really make a difference in the future. So that's what I'm thinking about right now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. I mean, would definitely love to have your involvement with the organization. We could maybe work on some additional projects and just help make the world a better place. We love to connect with um, people like you, regardless of their age, who are passionate about making a difference. And we're very excited to be having this conversation with you and for us to be thinking about doing something together in the future. I just have one final question for you. Is there anything else you'd like to say or to share with the people who are listening to this program, to this video recording?
I think everyone, if you can, should try to donate to Develop Africa or sponsor a child because that can make probably more of a difference than you might think. And I think it's just a great thing to do. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, we encourage people are always asking, how can I make a difference? What can I do? We definitely encourage you to get onto our website and you can make a donation or you can actually choose to sponsor a website. And you should see the address of the website, www.developafrica.org. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help answer any questions you have. And it's really been a pleasure to get to talk to you, Rhys. And we wish you the very best as you go back into school. Have you resumed? Have you started classes, or are you starting in the next week or two?
I haven't started classes yet. Still have a little while, but I'll be going to band camp next week for the marching band.
Wonderful. Well, we want to, on behalf of the team here at Develop Africa, I want to wish you the very best with your band camp, with marching band, and whatever else you're involved in this upcoming year. And we wish you the very best, and we look forward to staying in touch with you and talking to you further on in the future. Thank you so much for taking the time, and wish you a very, very successful year ahead, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Fatu Conte. I live in Kamawani village. I am 15 years old. I am in junior secondary school. I need a support to cover my school fees and school material.
Hello, my name is Margaret Josiah Bangura. I am 19 years old. I lost my mom when I was 12 years old. My father is old and he can't afford to pay my school fee.
Hi, my name is Lucy Moswe and I am 21 years old. My favorite subject is English and I have started the West African Secondary School certificate examination, but unfortunately I didn't make it. So I'm going to sit another exam. When I get the requirement to go to college, I would like to study public sector, to be a better person and to serve my country. Asking for your financial support so that I can pay for extra class, pay for the West African Senior Secondary